Hey Tim, um, probably should list to Robin too. So hey Robin, we're gonna go over building a set, cradle to grave. So Tim, what I usually do is start out in iTunes. It allows me to lay out the songs. We're gonna do 726 first. Um, it gives me an estimated time up here. I know we're shooting for 38 minutes, but I also know tribal knowledge that there's actually 4-ish minutes on the back of this for like free worship type stuff too. So that's what I'm factoring in to come to that number. Um, when I put this together, a couple things I'll keep in mind is obviously the progression of the set, meaning in most cases start out with something a little bit upbeat, or I don't know if I theme's probably not the right word, but something to set the stage for kind of what I'm feeling for that Sunday. And then secondary is keys, and then third is who's singing. I try to, when possible, keep keys together so it flows better, and then also keep singers together and it flows better as well. So this one's easy. It's Bryant leading all of them, so all of them are key of A except for one. So we do Reckless in G. Um, Open Up Our Eyes is an A. I originally felt like that was more of a fit, um, but instead of going key of A, key of G, and then back to the key of A, it's working just to do that one first. So that's kind of what the thought I put into it a little bit when putting things together. I also have a tendency to just to verify that it's like connecting, um, to kind of come off of one song and just, I don't know why, but just kind of see how it flows into the next one. And I think that one's going to work great. But I may do that. Um, it's just my 2 cents. Next step is we have to go in and we have to set up multi tracks. That's kind of like the backbone of everything that connects not only the key check portion, but what will actually follow through to the app later on, with this set list feature that we've been working on the beta team for a while. So on the left, and I'm working on getting a different login for this and trying to peel off some personal stuff that I've purchased on here and then leave the church's stuff alone. So more to come on that. But basically, the library is where we have the library of the stuff that we have. This is kind of an important page. If you look at a song, you can see here that this indicates that we own the multi-track. This icon over here indicates that we own the sheet music for it. And then what's critical is if this one is filled out, that means that I have built a MIDI file for that to trigger the lyrics automatically. So if you get down to a song like, say, Sea of Victory, um, there is not a MIDI file in there. So I would need extra time to, and we got to figure out what that cadence looks like for new songs and stuff like that. But I think we have close to 100 songs in here that have MIDI files. But like here's another example, Your Love Never Fails. We don't have the sheet music, and we'll walk through that too. And then also the MIDI file would need to be built. Um, so you don't want to go pick one that doesn't have a MIDI file unless you've got someone that can manually do the lyrics. Um, some of these, like This Is a Move, we do have a MIDI file. It was just, I think it's broke and I'd have to re-upload it. But so if you know that we've done it in the last 6 months, more than likely there is one and it just needs some tweaking. So the people tab is kind of what keeps track of everything. So um, And this is why you're not getting the context. So we need, and I'll get this fixed, is we need to go in and add, actually maybe we don't. I can go in and move some stuff around to give, let's see. And then depending on how many seats we have, some weeks I may take it away from some and add it to the other to keep from adding another 5 seats, but we can visit on that. So anyways, this is the people where you go to add and set up permissions. Thought I'd already set that up. Okay, so that's all set. Where we're going to go in is the set list. And this is what shows the band what we're doing, what keys we're doing, the order of the songs, and then this is what translates over to the app too. So we're going to do a new set list. I usually just call it the date, so I think it's 7/26. And we're going to put it on 7/26 at 10 a.m. and create set list. So we're going to start adding contact, whatever. It's been a long day. First thing we want to do is add a pad. I know in this case we're doing Reckless Love, so we're going to add a pad first. It's kind of like for the opening up portion. And it's very difficult to add in the app if you don't do it here. It's not difficult, it just takes time. It's kind of a hassle. So once you add your pad, and you can add it later too, after you add your songs. So now we're going to go and we're going to add Reckless Love. And we know this one is in G. This song is in A. In this part we want to for sure make sure that we have the right keys, because this is what the Gene's going to practice off of. So we don't want to represent the wrong key, have her practice the wrong key, and then show up and find out it's in a different key. So it's kind of mission critical. And I usually, because I have made errors, I usually send out a, hey, this is what we're doing, verify if it looks good. That way everyone's kind of double checking. The other important thing too is to be able to make sure you have the right version, because you may pick a version that they practice and then find out that we don't have a track for it, or we don't have the MIDI file for it too. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. And sometimes this doesn't want to play ball. There we go. It's in the right. Actually, it's not the right key. All right, finally we got it. So we're going to do Where You Are. That one I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's an A. And then the stand. And that one's an A. And then we're going to go ahead and add a pad. And the ones that have worked, yeah, and sometimes you're going to get this and you'll just have to add it in the iPad, which we can go over later. So then you'll want to save it. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to go see if I can add that pad again. And I can't, so we're going to call it good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add people. Otherwise, if you don't do this, they won't be able to see it. So we're going to add Bryant, Jean, Julie. This one, I can add you to it. Robin's not on this week, so we won't add her. And then this is where we're at. The next step is I go ahead and notify the team and just put kind of add some notes in here on who's leading what, so there's not confusion of which ones that they're supposed to be key checking. And sometimes if you have a new song, like say that 3 weeks from now you want to do a new song, I would add a set list for 3 weeks from now, add that one song that you're wanting to key check on, and then text that singer and saying, hey, there's a song loaded on this set list, and you'll have to add them to that set list that they can go in and key check, so it's all done and ready to go prior to that week. So at this point, we've kind of validated the order. Everything's looking good. We're pretty much done in multi-tracks for now. So the next step is we're going to go over to Planning Center, and we're going to go to July 26th. And all of these songs are in there already, so it should be pretty easy. We're just going to go here and add a song. And I'm going to go to Reckless. And I'm going to make sure that's in the right key. And again, mission critical that they're practicing the right key, or the right song in the right key. And then we're going to go to the next song. That one's already in the right key. And then we're going to add another song. And the stand. And then just to keep it, I always just pull it up in there so it's in the right order. The service is in the right order anyways. And just for the heck of it, I am going to go check where you are real quick. So this is on the sheet that I invited you to. And we got Bryant and A, so we are good with the key there. All right, so we got the set needed. Then what I go through is then I start adding people to the set. If you don't add them, they're not going to be able to see the music and print the music and know what they're doing. So this is an important step. I've also been doing the when I been adding the camera people too. So this is on the 26th, so it looks like yeah, John won't be able to do the Pro Presenter. There's way too much going on, so I'll have to shoot Aaliyah a note. So I will add Connor. And then I'm gonna add Aaliyah as a reminder. And then getting down to the band. For Bryant, I just add him to the acoustic guitar. The positions do not matter. He still gets the same visibility of the music and everything. And then when I did the template, I missed one position, so at some point I'll go fix the template, but for right now this is what you need to do. So you hit this little icon up here and go to needed positions, and then go down to band. I'm going to add kazoo for Tim, and then vocal I'm going to add 2 because we have Julie and Robin. So I'm going to go back up to the band, and I'm going to add Julie. Actually, I'm not adding Robin, sorry, because this is a different Sunday. So I'm going to minus 1 person, and then Tim, so you have visibility, adding you there. And the next step is a email, which is super simple, but this is pretty much it. I just go up and do another double check to make sure that the order is what is wanted. That's the order that they're going to practice in, arrange their music in, and just out of respect, just try to make sure I get that 100% correct. I don't all the time, but I try. And then to email, it's super simple. Just go down here, click on the email icon, and it's going to tell you got 8 people selected. You're going to hit next, and it's got all your people listed, and then you're going to hit send. And then that's it from a Pro Presenter standpoint. I think I'm going to end this video and go grab the iPad. Actually, let's do this. Let's go through another set. So we've got, the next one is 8-2. So again, let's go back to multi-tracks. We're going to go to set list. And then new set list. Got 8-2. And then I know that one starts out, so I'm hoping there's pads here, which there is. And if you want, you can, I guess while it's working, we're going to add both pads. So I think the last song is an F. And then we're going to go back to the library, do drenched. That's an A. that's the version that we'll want to do. We're going to do that in A. I'm going to double check this one. I think Robin has done it in D and E. I think the last time we did it in D, but it's been a while. So what I do, if it's been a while on a song, I'll probably also send a text, which I'll copy you on, to Robin to double check that song, and then also I will exalt and it helps if you spell things right. And that's the version we're doing it in B. That's what we did last time, but we'll wait for a key check from Robin. And then Defender we did in F last time. So then I'm going to grab this and move it to the bottom, and then I'm just going to make sure that it's in the right order, which looks good. We got B, and again, so this takes two things into effect. One, we've got Bryant sticking together, so key of A back to back. Bryant sings, then hands it off to Robin. This also helps them kind of do their own thing in between songs too. If you're doing one singer, different singer, other singer, it can be not as fluid. So it's something I look at. Then I'm going to go ahead and add people. This time I am going to add Robin. You'll notice that Jez is not there. He hasn't accepted the email yet, but he views the stuff over on the planning center side. I think he's more used to that. So we're going to update the set list with that. Save it. And then I'm going to go make sure I notify the team. There's a funny bird in the background. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Oh, it's a squirrel. So I'm going to let and then I'm just going to put a note. And then that's going to get sent to everybody. And then we're good here. So we're going to pop over to Planning Center.
Squirrel.
Is it a squirrel? That's hilarious. I hope it comes through on the recording so they can. That's a funny sounding squirrel. So we're going to burn over to 8.2. And then again, add song. Drenched is an A. A. So I'm going to go through on this one let's say for instance that you do, like, say Julie starts leading songs, and you have, let's say Julie's going to do Drenched, and she comes back and says, I am not doing it in A, I need to do it in, let's say, B. So we need to get the music in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to songs, and we're going to go down to Drenched, and then we're going to add a key. So we're going to do B. So now we need to get the new music in there. So now we're going to go over to our library and multi-tracks. And look at that, it's right here up top. So we're going to go into Drenched. So if you're doing the keys of G, A, B, C, you also want to include the music for the key of G. That's just with capo stuff on the guitar. So we're going to download the key of G in both of those. And then we're going to head back over to this one, and we're going to add files. So you can drag them, or so we got them here, wherever you download them on your computer. This is going to bring them in. And then we are attaching this to our new arrangement, which is key of B. And then you will see our two pieces of music here. Let's say, for instance, that you're wanting to do a different version of the song, that there's a new version out, and you want to make sure that you have the right multi-tracks in here for the people to listen to, practice to, and prep for Sunday. You are going to go into Files, and then Rehearsal Mix, and you'll see if there are others versions here, you'll see them listed, and you'll unlink that version and then go back and link the proper version, so then it will populate the correct files for the person to listen to. So hopefully that's not too confusing. So we're going to go back to the plan, and we're going to go back to August 2nd and fill in the positions to get the invite out. So here we're going to add John, and then on August 2nd we have Sam and Aaliyah. So for camera, we're going to add Sam. And I try to get this done as soon as possible so they get their reminder, they can plan accordingly, and know that they're doing it, so it's not like a last minute notification thing. And then we'll go with Gene. And then on August 2nd, we are going to have, so we're going to go to Needed Positions, and we're going to go to the band. So then we're going to go over here to 2, and then kazoo for 1. And then we should have all the positions filled out. And this will give you an indication with the icon that's prepared, ready to go. It hasn't been set. So you can peruse and see to make sure you have everyone. Whoops, I almost forgot. So if you do go through and you forget to add someone after you've used the mass email function, you can click on the individual email and click on their email, and it will send it individually. I like doing them all at once. It saves time. So now we have 9 people selected, since we had one more than the previous week with Robin joining for August 2nd. So that has been sent. So that's basically notifying everybody that they're on deck for those services, and then just kind of wait for the confirmations to come back. I'm going to stop it here and go grab the iPad and do that next. Okay. This is the iPad. You open it up. The code is 4189. The icon at the bottom with the play is the icon for that. So you just open that up. In the upper right, there's a checklist with 4 items and a music note. That is what you're going to use to open up the set list now that it's been created on the multi-track side. So you're going to hit open set list, and we're going to open up the set list and prep it for Sunday. So we're going to select 7/19, 20, and then you can simply hit just load in the upper right hand corner, and it'll start to load the entire set. And we'll let it do its thing here. So you can see in this case, this is where didn't have the option to add a pad at first. So we're going to go ahead and do it so you can kind of see what it is. So you can't add a new song to the first one when you have, so I can't add one ahead of Raise a Hallelujah. So I'm going to have to go into the plus sign in between. I'm going to hit pad, guitar pad. I know that we do this in B, so I'm going to add that. Now I'm going to go ahead of that and go to the library, and I'm going to re-add Raise a Hallelujah. And then this one is going to be in B. And then I will delete the first one. And then now we've successfully added a pad ahead of the set. So you can see it's a little bit clunky. So song prep. The first thing I usually do is go through and add my transitions. So in between each song, we're going to put a crossfade. And you can see the arrow on. Looks like I need to add a pad here, so we're going to add another pad at the end. Guitar pads, key of C. And this transition I do a little bit different because I don't want it, I'm trying to minimize the gap in no space between that. So instead of a crossfade, I'm going to do a overlap. So it kind of starts before the other one ends, and the other one ends before it starts, or something like that. Again, it has been a long day. So once that's done, then I'm going to go through and start picking tracks. So we know that we have Brian's going to play the acoustic. It's up to whoever, depending on the song. Sometimes I'll leave the second acoustic in. I don't think I'm going to this time, just because there's not a lot of instruments on stage. And I take the vocals out and then we need to take the drums out. And then that's a good starting point to at least do a run through to figure out what else is needed to go, and then we'll work through that. So background vocals, drums, acoustic. This one doesn't have a bunch of tracks, so I'm going to leave it in. I think it'll sound cool with the kind of with what the second acoustic's doing in there. And that's it. It's kind of ready to go. The one thing that I have been doing, it kind of helps everyone stay in time, is somehow they decided to delete the accent when you first load it up on the click. And for some reason it won't let me turn it on. So anyways, I try to make sure I go down, and I'm hitting where it says accent is where you turn on and off the channels, and it's not responding for some reason, because it's probably had one of those days too. So I'll take a look at it later, but usually I adjust the click. I will turn the accent on and turn the fader up kind of somewhere in there, and then it's not a global, so you kind of have to do each one. And I think Robin's probably watching this, she can relate to that. There's certain songs that having that accent on the offbeat that definitely help a bunch. So anyways, I'll get that fixed. And that's pretty much it on the songs. If you see those triangles on the bottom, that means that those are each a MIDI signal that I put in there to trigger a slide on ProPresenter. So those should all be good to go. It'll be a whole nother video if, I guess, correcting those or fixing those if they're off, but that's something that we can work through, that we'll have to figure out. Let's say, for instance, that you want to here's a good example. On Raise a Hallelujah, there's an instrumental, or the refrain is part of it. Let's say that you want to go a little bit longer on the refrain. You can hit the plus sign, and you can go in and find that refrain and then add another one, and that's going to add it to the song. The one thing about getting too crazy on that without testing or kind of knowing the characteristics of what's going to happen is you could get some goofy lyrics depending on what you repeat and what you don't repeat. So not a good explanation, but if that's, we can go into more detail on that in person or a different video. And that's it. Sometimes we have songs that have like a crazy long ending that it doesn't need to be that long. You can go in and you can tweak your end point of the song, start point. I think that's really, for now, I mean, a good place to start with. If you're really interested in getting crazy with multiple arrangements or blending songs, I think there's resources on YouTube, or we can talk about it. If you're trying to do different versions, sometimes you have to use, like, if you want a lot, big sound in one part of the song and then not as many tracks in another part, you basically would have to add 3 different versions of that song and then chop it out. I don't know. It's probably better to go over that in person, but that's really it in a nutshell on triggering the iPad. And then starting the set. For the pads, I just kind of like to have them as a base layer. So I will turn all of the tracks down. You do not want to turn the master down because that's going to affect all of the tracks. So I think that's it. Easy peasy.